I want to return now to a conversation about trade in this country, in particular Prime Minister Mark Carney's visit to China next week. With me now is CTV News political analyst Sharan Kaur. Hi, Sharan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Okay, let's get into this. We're just talking about this, too, with Jeremy in Ottawa, too. But the visit to China next week, clearly the Prime Minister continuing this expansion, wanting to explain who Canada's relying on for trade. But this one in particular is a very complicated relationship. So what do you make of the visit next week?
I think it's a pretty big moment. We've gone through a number of years and a period of time where Canada-China relations has been very fraught. We went through the period when the two Michaels were detained there. We went through a period of time where there was very little diplomatic channels of communication. And I think given what's happened in the U.S., we have to expand our trade partners. And I think the fact that the Prime Minister is going there is important. There's going to be things on the table like canola, EVs that are going to be a point of discussion, but also national security and a few other items there. So I think it's really important. We can't pretend like China is not a superpower in the world in terms of where they stand. And I think diplomacy and having him go there is actually a good thing.
And do you believe it's just more of those conversations like you talked about? They're going to talk about these topics, they're going to discuss these, but necessarily it doesn't really feel that there might be any sort of agreement yet?
Well, it's quite possible that there's going to be some sort of communique that comes out of it. Often these discussions don't start and end in these meetings, right? They've probably already started. They might actually have a deliverable that they want to agree upon. I wouldn't be surprised that by the time the Prime Minister returns, there's something that gets announced, that there's some mutual agreement on something. But I don't think we're going to necessarily solve canola or EV issues at this point in time there. But I do think there might be some sort of agreement on Canada-China relations that they can come out of.
I also want to talk to you. Chrystia Freeland officially resigned today, no longer an MP, and has taken up the post in the Ukrainian government to talk about economic redevelopment there. You know, the way this all played out, there was lots of criticism about how she resigned and what happened this week. But I'm curious your thoughts, too, on her lasting impression here in Canada, especially politically, as she moves on to her next role and is no longer in the House of Commons.
Yeah, listen, I think that for the most part, a lot of folks from every partisan stripe agreed that it's really difficult for a member of Canadian Parliament to hold a role in another government. It's a question of, I'm going to say loyalty. Like, I think it's fair to say she's extremely loyal to Canada, but she's also a very strong advocate for Ukraine. She's been her whole life. So I'm not surprised. I think that the communications rollout on this was a bit sloppy in how she did it, but it's the right decision for her to go. There's no way that she could have held both positions, even saying that she's going to have it at the same time. Her lasting impression, listen, she's been a MP for quite some time now, and I think that at the end of the day, the residents of University Rosedale can speak to that. But she's made the right move to resign, and I think it's time to get some fresh blood into University Rosedale.
CTV News political analyst Sharan Kaur, thanks so much for this, Sharan. Appreciate it.
Happy Friday.